Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown. Thanks so much for being here today. This is our Caregiving Listener Project informational meeting. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for your interest. I so appreciate it. My partner in this is Joan Byrne. She's one of our certified caregiving consultants. And I had pitched this idea to her in the summer. We started working on it. We said, if anybody's interested, we're going to call it a success. So a lot of you are interested. So we are feeling really good about the first year in doing this Caregiving Listener Project on January 16th, which is a day of service in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. So just a little bit about me. I started helping and supporting family caregivers in 1990, and I launched one of the very first online caregiving communities in 1996. I sold it in March of 2020 to focus in on training and leadership development for family caregivers, and have been thinking about different ways to support family caregivers in a way that's convenient for them. And so our Caregiving Listener Project is really an outreach of what do family caregivers need? How can we meet that need in a way that feels doable, not only from the perspective of the volunteer, but also the family caregiver. So I appreciate you all being here, and feel free to share introductions in the chat room. I'd love for you guys to meet each other too. Okay, so here we go. So the genesis of this really is from our caregiving consultant training, which includes our training program participants telling a 4-minute story. And the reason they do that is because the other training program participants then practice using this really specific communication strategy we use in a real life experience. And what would happen is when someone would tell a 4-minute story and receive this really specific communication in return, is that I could see it changed them. Honest to goodness, in one of our training programs, a family caregiver told her story, and it was almost like she had a veil over her face, a way to protect herself from sharing honestly and the worry that people would judge her for her story. And instead, what she heard was compassion and understanding and validation. And honest to goodness, the veil lifted. And it seems to me that we want to give this gift of someone sharing honestly about a difficult experience to a caring and compassionate listener. And that's the Caregiving Listener Project. My brother died suddenly in August of 2021. And as I was thinking about his death, it occurred to me that what he needed in his life was a good listener. And because of that experience, I created a 2-hour training program called The Art of Listening. So this volunteer project combines the experience with others telling a 4-minute story and my thinking through what makes a good listener and what creates an effective listening session. So let's talk about what's involved if you'd like to be a listener. So if you'd like to volunteer as a listener, you get access to our Art of Listening course at no charge. You join us virtually for an hour on January 16th. You'll listen to 3 stories. Each of the stories is 4 minutes, and then you engage in about a 10-minute conversation about that story. We help you with that conversation as part of the Art of Listening course. The Art of Listening course includes 1-hour archived video that you watch, and then you join me and Joan for a 1-hour training. And during that 1-hour training, we practice creating listening sessions, and then we help you with the conversation prompts you're going to use in your listening session on January 16th. We don't require that these stories are recorded. However, if the storyteller would like an archive, you will have the ability to record that story. And we just ask that you record it to your computer, and then we'll help you upload it into a shared Google folder. If the storyteller wants the archive to be shared, we would add it to a course we have on our community, which is called Caring Our Way. And the course is called the Encyclopedia of Family Caregiving. We've been really adding in caregiving stories in the encyclopedia, and these would be additional stories that we would add in. Okay, so if you're interested in being a storyteller, you tell a 4-minute story to a listener virtually. As a storyteller, you can actually read a story from your notes, or you can share it from memory. Your listener will help you with time, and if you're a listener, will help you figure that out during your live training. And you can actually ask to have the story recorded just for your own personal use or to be added to the encyclopedia. It's supposed to be a simple experience. So when Joan and I had started talking about it, we worked through the logistics with the goal that as a listener, you're assigned your own breakout room on Zoom. And then we have everybody join in the main room and then move them into their breakout room to connect with their listener. The listeners and storytellers won't know each other until they're connected in the Zoom room. And then we'll prompt everybody at the end of 15 minutes for the storyteller to leave and for a new storyteller to enter into that particular breakout room. So we're asking if you want to volunteer as a listener to volunteer for an hour. But because we know that there could be times between each storyteller, it'll probably be 3 stories within an hour period. We have one of our certified caregiving consultants who's a teacher at a school in Manhattan. And I reached out to her to see if any of her students would be interested. And she is working through that. The goal is that we have storytellers from schools, universities, everywhere, so that whoever the family caregiver is, they have an opportunity to connect to someone who cares about their story, someone who wants to simply receive the story and then engage in a conversation about the story. For those of you who have been family caregivers, you know what it's like when you start to tell your story. Usually someone starts to should on you. You know what you should do? You know what would help? It's because as a listener, it's hard to hear a story of pain, and we so want to remove that pain. The goal of the Listener Project is that the solution is the listening. That when a family caregiver tells a story of their choice about something that was difficult or tough, they tell it to a listener who simply wants to receive the story, knowing that the listening is the solution. We don't have to tell anybody what to do. We don't have to offer a resource. We simply listen because that's the solution. So then the vision is that this becomes an annual project that we do on day of services, that corporations perhaps start to get involved as having employees volunteer to be both listeners and storytellers, and that we engage our communities so that family caregivers in school, in universities, in the workplace, at our houses of worship, connect to that caring listener at least once a year, which sounds like, oh no, can't we do it more? And if we can, we will, but that's the goal. Okay, so you're probably thinking, okay, so how do I sign up for this? How do I sign up as a listener or a storyteller? So before we close, I'm going to share 2 links. One is to sign up as a listener. One is to sign up as a storyteller. In addition, we do have a group on our community, Caring Our Way, and I'll show you what that looks like. And you can join that group, and you'll find the links to sign up as a listener or a storyteller on that group as well. So here's what the group looks like. It's free to join. I'll share a link as well in the chat room before we close with that link, but it's very easy. You can just go to caringourway.com. You'll go to the groups area. You'll see the Caregiving Listener Project. You just join, and then you fill out a form to become a listener or a storyteller. Once you fill out a form to be a listener, you'll be directed to the Art of Listening course. You'll have immediate access to watch the archive, and then you'll be able to RSVP to join one of the live trainings. We have 4 training dates that I'll add to our group. They are in December and they are in January. They are in the afternoon and they are in the evening. And if we're not able to accommodate you, we'll add in more dates because we want this to be a good experience for you. I want you to feel when you are a listener and someone is telling you a story that you think, wow, this is a hard experience for this individual, that you feel comfortable hearing it, knowing that your listening is the solution. You just have to focus on being a good listener. We're going to talk about how to do that in the course. And that's enough. Because I want you at the end of that hour to feel like, wow, I gave 3 gifts today. I want you to feel energized. I want you to feel like you did something really meaningful for an hour. I want you to feel like, wow, I see what can make a difference in the relationships I have with anybody, a stranger, a family member, a friend, a colleague, and a family caregiver. Okay, so that's the overview. So I'd love for you to ask any questions that you might have. So tell me how this sounds.
Hey, Denise, it sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing. I am in Central Oregon, and I've been volunteering with an organization called Connect Central Oregon, and they're looking to get organizations to do events for Martin Luther King Day of Service. So I'm thinking, should I create an account for, I guess, my services and then promote this? What do you think? And then send people your way, or
Yeah, you can let anybody and everyone know about it. So in whatever way you connect to that group, let them know this is an opportunity and then invite them to join us. I'll post an archive of this in our group. I'm going to share it on YouTube as well. So anyone who's interested can watch the archive and then sign up to be a listener or a storyteller. You actually could sign up to be both if you wanted to.
Okay.
And as a listener, you do not have to have a personal caregiving experience. So that was Denise's question in the chat room. So Patty, that would be awesome. The more the merrier, the more the merrier. I think that would be awesome. And I hope that people feel like, okay, this is a really great way to be of use for an hour on a day of service.
Awesome. Thank you.
What other questions might you have or comments?
What's the date that we're shooting for?
It's January 16th.
Thank you.
And I love this.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm a gerontologist. And so listening is the solution. It's so wonderful. And I'm so sorry that I had a meeting, right? So only thing I didn't quite hear or understand is, like, is this an organization that you put together? Is this something that you're doing, like a little bit more in terms of what, like how this came to be? Because I really like it.
Oh yeah, you know what? I shared the vision for it. So I have a training program, and as part of the training program participants tell a 4-minute story. And they do that so that we can practice our communication skills. And what I learned in watching people tell a story to caring listeners is it changes the storyteller. And so I thought, okay, this is an opportunity for us to change family caregivers in a way that is convenient for them, that is accessible for them. And then My brother died suddenly in August of 2021, and I had been thinking after he died that he needed a good listener in his life. And so that spurred me to create a training for us to learn how to be good listeners. So I'm just combining this idea of 4-minute stories plus a good listener into this project. And the goal is that we do it at least once a year. However, if there's organizations that are interested in doing this more regularly, we are all about doing it as often as it could be done. So for instance, if there's an employer or a house of worship that says we need to be doing something more regularly to serve our community, they could do something like this and we can help them organize it.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for your excitement too. That's contagious.
There's so many stories. It is rough, and we need to talk about it and get it out.
Yes,
People are
right.
hungry for that.
Yes, I completely agree. I completely agree.
It would be fantastic if we could get other caregiving groups to do the same thing.
Yeah, anybody is welcome to join us. Absolutely. Absolutely. And really, when Joan and I talked about it over the summer, we just thought if 3 or 4 people join us, we'll call it a success. So we just feel like, wow, this is awesome. And we really wanted to get the first one organized and have it be a successful experience for everyone and then keep going. So our goal is that it is a successful experience for you as a listener, for you as a storyteller. So Carol is asking if there's an option for listeners to post questions anonymously to the storyteller. So we are going to engage in a conversation with our storyteller, and we actually are going to give you prompts about how to do that. So it's a one-on-one conversation. The storyteller tells the story directly to the listener virtually in a breakout room. And then through the training, the listener has prompts for a conversation. Our goal as a listener is to simply receive the story. We are not here to tell people what to do or should on them. We are just there to receive the story, and in doing that, to create greater insight into the story for the storyteller and for us as a listener. So the questions that we'll share as prompts during the training will help that. We want it to be greater insights into the experience. It's not an opportunity for us to tell people what to do. It's an opportunity for us to understand this really human experience of caregiving. So,
So I'm sorry, Denise,
okay,
if I understand correctly, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, can I ask, I'm just going to go to Patty, who's got a question in the chat room. So just to repeat, so storytellers don't have to have their story recorded. If they want, a story could be recorded and the listener will record it for them. They could have a story recorded just for their own personal use, just to have a story that's of their caregiving experience for their own use. If they want, they can say, you know what, I want it to be added for other family caregivers to hear as well. And then we would move it into the Encyclopedia of Family Caregiving. And you can actually join that course on Caring Our Way. It's free. And so we have other videos of caregiving stories that our interns from University of Illinois have been recording this semester. Patty, does that answer your question? Okay, so Patty Sharon.
My question was, so we're going to go into a Zoom room all together, just like we are here, and then you're going to have breakout rooms. So it's only going to be the storyteller and the listener in that breakout room.
Yes.
It's only going to be 2 people. Nobody else is
Yes.
going to be in there. So they
Right.
have a
Yep.
safe space.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent
Yeah.
to share. Excellent.
Yeah. And again, the listeners and the storytellers won't know each other. Chances are they won't know each other. And that's okay. Because you don't have to have an established relationship to be a good listener. You just have the skills and the compassion to be a good listener. Okay, so should I share links for you guys to sign up? Okay, all right, excellent. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share them in the chat room. So Carol, the encyclopedia is just a course that's available to anyone on Caring Our Way. So when you join Caring Our Way, you can join the Encyclopedia Family Caregiving as well. It's a free course, just like our Caregiving Listener project is a free group. And you'll see it when you go to caringourway.com. There's a list of courses, there's a list of groups. So I just shared the sign up form to be a listener, the sign up form to be a storyteller, and then a link to join our group, the Caregiving Listener Project group on Caring Our Way. I'll send a follow-up email with a link to this recording and the link to the other sign-up sheets. And if you think, oh, what do I do in an hour? You can just go to caringourway.com and you'll see what to do. Okay, anybody have any worries about this? Just curious. Okay, as I look around, I see a worry-free room, so that's a good sign.
Well, I'm worried that I'm just going to worry until we do training with you, and then
Okay.
it'll be good.
Yes, and you know what? The thing is, you even don't have to worry about that because you know the training will happen. And I'm just going to ask Joan to unmute herself so you guys can meet Joan too. And Denise, you're going to be fabulous, and I think you're going to love it. And Joan and I are going to do the training. So Joan, why don't you say hello?
Hi, everyone. Denise, I think it was Denise. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read names, but absolutely nothing to worry about. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out of your day to be here. I'm so excited about this project. I think it's really going to be a valuable experience for both the listener and the storyteller. And we'll cover everything that you need to know on the training. If anyone has any questions after the training, before the session, you'll be able to contact us, and we'll make sure that when it happens, you're feeling ready.
The other beauty of us having a group is that you can post questions and we can answer them on the group so that you can see what others are thinking as well. We really want it to be a successful experience for you. So on the day of, we're going to be there to support you. We'll help you get where you need to go, get into the right room. We'll help you with timing. So we're all good. Yep. Okay, I think I'm going to close us as long as everybody is good with what they have. Okay, thank you so much. We so appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you in the training and on January 16th. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you for putting this together.
Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Happy
happy
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving.
everyone.